For the past 20 plus years, I've been a part of the fitness industry, and I've transformed my body along with thousands of others, but I've also made mistakes along the way. So in this video, I want to share with you 10 things that I wish I knew for faster and easier fat loss, starting with. So number one is that you want to aim to eat similar meals every single day. You want to have a rotation of 5 to 7 meals that you can rely on, that you understand what the calories, what the macros are, and you can make these almost on automatic. Now, I understand that variety is the spice of life, but eating similar meals makes things simple, especially when you are dropping weight off of your body. Now, this is a hard one for people because it means that you are releasing your need for variety and also your want for mouth entertainment. But I digress. One of the easiest ways to drop weight in a predictable way is to eat similar meals every day. Now, there is one way that you can circumvent this, especially if you have resources, and that is getting something like meal prep that I get, where the macros and the calories are already laid out for you. And if you don't have the resources to get meal prep, you could do things that are very easy, like maybe getting a rotisserie chicken at your local grocery store. Usually these range around $5 to $7. You can get some vegetables, you can get a couple potatoes, and this can actually be one of the semblances of the meals that you bring into your life. But going back to the original point, we want to have a stable of meals we can rely on every single day, where we know exactly what's going into our bodies, and this makes releasing the weight off of our bodies a lot more simpler and a lot more easier and a lot more predictable. Number 2, stop changing your workouts. When we are getting lean, we want to maintain, if not build, a little bit of muscle as we are cutting. But if you keep on changing your workouts every single week, then you're gonna make the process a lot harder than it has to be. The number one principle to building muscle is by applying progressive overload to your body. And the best way to do this is to get stronger or to do more volume using the same exercises over a 6 to even 16 week period. And this is part of the reason why I have people emailing me all the time about our Lean Body 90 program, where they're like, when can I get different workouts? When can I do all these different workouts? And I always have to tell them, you want to use the same workouts and get stronger in them. Again, just like point number 1, you have to almost release this need for variety. And yes, if it works for you, great, that's awesome, but I'm looking to do things in the most efficient way possible. So it's not about doing all sorts of different exercises in order to facilitate workout ADHD. It's about getting better at the workouts that you are doing, and the only way that you can get better at them is to keep on doing them. So stop it with the workout ADHD and start getting gains by getting stronger and getting better using the same workouts over a longer time period. Number 3, get stronger using these exercises. So exercise selection is one of the most important parts when you are designing a program to get lean. But which exercises should you choose? So barring any disabilities, here are the top 10 exercises I believe every single person should have in their workouts. And it is the squat, the trap bar deadlift, the dumbbell bench press, farmer carries, pull-ups, chest supported rows, seated dumbbell overhead presses, lunges, mobility drills, and hip thrusts. Now, these are not necessarily mandatory exercises. You want to look at them as movements, and you want to have some aspect of these movements inside of your workout. And focusing on getting stronger in these movements are going to help you build a balanced and functional body as you are getting better at them. Number 4, learn about your hormones. Now, a lot of people think that their hormones dictate how fast they lose fat or how slow they lose fat, when it's not necessarily the case. Your hormones actually dictate your behaviors around food. Specifically, you have one hormone named ghrelin, which dictates when you will become hungry. You have another hormone called leptin, which dictates how full you'll feel after you are done a meal. And both of these hormones are influenced by not only your food quality, but also how much weight you have lost. So what we want to do is we want to bring awareness to these specific hormones and how they function, and also learn how to balance them in order to lose weight in a sustainable way. And I actually did a video that you can check out right here in which I talk about those hormones and also ways in which to lose weight in a sustainable way. Number 5 is eating a high protein diet. So at one point in my life, I was really trying to get to my leanest body possible. So what I did was I did a DEXA scan in the beginning and a DEXA scan at the end of my transformation. I wanted to know exactly how much body fat I had, but also how much lean mass that I had at the end of the weight loss cycle. And when I got my DEXA scan back, I was crushed. Yes, I had lost weight, but my weight loss had been offset by the fact that I had lost 3.5 pounds of lean mass along with all of the weight. And if there's anything that you know about lean mass or muscle, it's like our shield, and it protects our metabolism from slowing down. And one of the keys to doing this is eating a high protein diet. Now, there's a lot of conflicting information about how much protein we should be taking in, and here's something that I found in our practice of coaching clients. So if you're trying to get into your leanest shape possible, into 10% digit body fat, it's best, I find, to have at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, if you got a significant amount of weight to lose, anything above 20, 25 pounds, 30 pounds, then you want to aim for about 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. And this is super important, especially for people who are getting back into the game of getting their body in shape, and also people who are beginning. When you get the protein angle down, that is going to protect your muscle, and also, especially if you're beginning or restarting, it's going to help you build a little bit of muscle as well. So make sure that as you are dropping the weight, you are eating a high protein diet. Number 6, don't avoid carbs, time them. So carbs are a natural performance enhancer, but most people think that if they take in even 1 gram of carbs, they're going to get fat, or they don't even know how to use them in order to increase performance. Especially when you're on a cut, carbs are one of the best ways to give your workouts energy. So when you are in this caloric deficit and you're releasing a lot of weight, you could feel lethargic and low energy, and one of the best ways to circumvent this is through timing your carbs. So here's how to do it. For me, what I do is about 2 hours or so before I actually have to go work out, I have a meal that's going to contain about 40 to 50 grams of carbs inside of that meal. And it's also going to contain protein, fats. It's going to be an actual meal. Now, as I do the first few sets of my workout, I'm going to be putting at least 50 grams of a fast-acting carb like dried mangoes, and I'll be eating them, not necessarily during my sets, but after I'm done my reps, as I am going into the workout. And for a very good reason. The fast-acting glucose inside of these specific foods, something like dried mangoes, is going to act as a little bit of a performance enhancer. It's going to give me the energy I need in order to facilitate the performance that I want inside of the gym. And it's also a really good excuse to eat dried mangoes. So the fact is that if your calories are right, if your macros are right, it's okay to take in carbs. Just understand how to time them so you can actually use them to your fullest advantage. Number 7 is accurate tracking. I once had a client who told me that they just had a slow metabolism and that they're tracking everything correctly, and yet they weren't losing any weight whatsoever. So I got him to do something very simple. I got him to measure every single gram of food that goes in, from all the small bites he was taking from his daughter's plate when she was done her dinner, to all the oils he was using to cook his foods, to all the snacks he was having in between his meals. I had him track all of it, and lo and behold, he was tacking on an extra 300 to 500 calories each day by not being accurate and being honest with himself when he was tracking. You will be so surprised at what falls through the cracks, and something I realized when I really committed to accurately tracking everything is the fact that 2,000 calories is really not that much food in the scope of what the average person takes in. So you want to be honest with yourself, and you want to get as accurate as possible, especially when it comes to tracking your foods, so you leave nothing on the table. Number 8, raise your floor. Now, my biggest mistake when losing weight was always being focused on losing weight and not being focused enough on gaining muscle after I lost the weight. So many people, especially if they've lost a significant amount of pounds from their body, they're going to be scared about eating in a way that doesn't keep them lean. But here's the thing, muscle raises our metabolic floor, but you can't necessarily be efficient at gaining muscle if you're always in the caloric deficit. Also, gaining muscle is not necessarily what most people think it means. It's not about eating pizzas and donuts and just dirty bulking your way to gaining 10 to 15 pounds every single month. That's just a way to get fat in a very fast way. Now, the best way is to gain muscle in a slow and methodical way. So this means gaining 1 to 2.5 pounds on average each month. So one thing you have to realize about gaining muscle is that it is a much slower process than trying to lose fat. So when you achieve your weight releasing target, you want to give yourself at least 6 to 12 months of time to build muscle. And then this is going to raise your metabolic floor, which is also going to allow you to eat more. And this is just not for guys, this is for all genders. Number 9, stop focusing on goals and start focusing on traits. So this doesn't mean that goals aren't important. I believe everyone should be setting goals for themselves because the mind is very much like a GPS. It needs a destination that it is headed to. And if you don't give it a destination, then you will be given the destination and you won't like it. Yet when people set goals, they actually make a huge mistake by making it all about the goal, not about the next two parts, which are going to be your process and your traits. So the process is what you're going to execute on. It is the actions that you're going to be taking in order to achieve the goal, in order to get from where you are to that destination. Now, the next part is the most important part. Traits make the goal inevitable. So traits are the behaviors. They're the things that you're going to be doing on a regular basis. They are a part of who you are as a person. They are your habits. And the thing about traits is it makes the goal inevitable as a result of who you are and what you do already. So when you are setting these processes in order to achieve this goal, you also have to understand and know what are the traits that I'm going to continue on so I can keep this goal in my life for the rest of my life. So yes, set a goal, but focus more on traits because that is what makes the goal inevitable. Number 10, it's going to take longer than you think. So here's something that I've seen coaching thousands of clients. So usually it's going to take around, I'd say 12 weeks to even sometimes 6 months to get the amount of weight that you need to get off in order to get your body to a healthy body fat level. And then you are going to need at least 6 months to even over a year in order to adopt the behaviors and adopt the identity to where being fit and having fit habits becomes your lifestyle. Now, the sobering reality of all this is that you need to give yourself longer time horizons, especially when it comes to getting your body back in shape. You have to remind yourself that this is not a 6-week challenge. This is not a 75 hard thing. It's literally your life, and we want to do things in a sustainable way so they stick, not just for the time that you lose weight, but for your entire lifetime. Otherwise, you're just going to get stuck in the same yo-yo cycle of weight loss and weight gain, and you're going to be like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know what's wrong. And the reason is just because you were impatient and you need to give yourself a longer time horizon to hit your goals and stick them. So here's one last key point, is that we're not necessarily losing weight. What we're doing is we're releasing weight. So the word itself, losing, is a negative connotation. It is something that we don't even want to do. Like, who the hell wants to lose? Instead, I like to say to my clients that we are releasing the weight. And I know it sounds like such a simple switch in terms of the word, but words mean a lot, especially when you're trying to direct your mind. And you're not just releasing weight, you're releasing the behaviors, you're releasing the beliefs you had, you're releasing all of the bad habits that you have incurred over the years. So instead of telling ourselves that we're trying to lose weight, we're going to say that we are releasing the weight, and it has a much more powerful effect on your mind and your body. So as the saying goes, a smart person learns from their own mistakes, and a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. So I hope in this video you have taken the things that I've learned and have applied it, and hopefully you will save yourself years of frustration by skipping over some of the mistakes that I've made. Now, if you got to this video and you're trying to lose weight, I did a video right here which is all about the processes that we use to drop 20 pounds. You can go to that video right there and see you on that one.